Good morning. Welcome to Refeel Yoga. So this morning I want to do a pre-stream to our 10-day challenge for two purposes. Okay. That's the first purpose, was to check if the sound is good. And what I just heard coming out of my phone, it sounds like the sound is good. If anyone else watches this, let me know in the comments if the sound is also good for you, because this is what's so important. I don't know why we've been struggling with the sound. I changed some settings. Hopefully now it's going to work. The other purpose of this stream I want to do before is to supplement the Love and Light program that we're going through and talk about the upcoming astrological event known as the Great Conjunction. And that's going to be happening on December 21st at 18:20 UTC. Sorry, I don't have all the times in front of me, but yes, it's right now. Good. Hallelujah. So when we started the 10-day Love and Light challenge, if you're not following that and you stumbled across this stream, right now I'm doing a 10-day program where we're doing a 20 to 30-minute practice every day, really focusing on love. Really focusing on opening the heart. If you're following along, you know. And when we started this program, I said there was two intentions. The first one was timeless, and that's tapping into love, openness, expansion. And the second one is timely, and it's happening right now. And this is we're leading up to a big astrological event on December 21st. It will be day 11 of this challenge. And what is going to be happening is something called the Great Conjunction. So every time that two astrological bodies are very near to each other, let me just put a little disclaimer. I'm not an astrologer. It's not my profession. I have a little bit of curiosity. I have some astrologer friends, both in Vedic and in Western astrology, but I'm not an astrologer, and this is not an astrology channel. If you want more information, I highly recommend you to look around. There's a lot of great astrology channels out there. My friend Walter, he does astrology. You'll see the link to Bole Baba down below at the bottom of our page. Unfortunately, or not unfortunately, just the circumstances, most of his videos are in Spanish, but he does once in a while a really good video in English as well. So check him out. He's a very wise guy. So what I'm going to share with you is my interpretation of what I've read and what I've researched about this conjunction, but I'm not an astrologer, and there's many opinions, and personally I always go for the optimistic view. So there's many ways to interpret this, and of course it's a very general thing about astrology, and it's not anything specific for you or anything like that. So every time that there's a meeting of two astrological bodies, whether that's like two planets are close to each other in perspective to us, or a star and another planet, or an asteroid, or the moon, whenever they come close together, it's called a conjunction. Now, once every 20 years, Jupiter and Saturn come close together, and we call this the Great Conjunction, because these are the two biggest planets in our solar system. And Jupiter and Saturn have kind of historically, back in the day of folklore, have very strong energies. I mean, all the astrological bodies have very strong energies. But Jupiter and Saturn are somewhat opposing. Jupiter is the great benefactor, the beneficent planet, and it's the one that's always bringing blessings and gifts and manifesting things and making everything come easy. He's like the giver, the god of the gods. Whereas Saturn is yeah, you can watch the recording tomorrow. It's okay. We're not doing any practice now. The practice will come in 1 hour. Saturn is the malefic planet. It's kind of like the oppressor. You can think of one as the father who's giving and supporting you, and the other one who's putting rules on you and trying to teach you to grow and learn on your own. And every 20 years, these two planets come close together, and it's called the Great Conjunction. And it's sort of like opposites coming together. It's kind of like the good and the bad are coming together and creating a very strong energy. And in the historical times, they used to say that this was sort of like the judging of humanity, to see where we are and what's going to happen for the next 20 years. what's important about this conjunction, there's a few different things that are very important about this conjunction, and this is why a lot of the spiritual systems and yoga and everything else are really watching the skies these days. For one, it's the first time that they've been this close since about 1623 or 28, don't quote me exactly on the date, but roughly 400 years ago was the last time that they were this close. But that was an unobservable time because they were very close, but right in front of the sun. So from Earth, you couldn't actually see this conjunction happening. The last time it was observable that they were this close was in about 1,220 years ago. The year 1220, let's say that. Somewhere around there. So around 800 years ago that they were actually so close and it was observable. But what is the big thing that is happening here, and that's really going to be the big shift in energy, is that this time they're coming together under Aquarius. For the last 200 years, every time that they've met together, it's been under an earth sign. So that means under Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. And it's when they come together under an element, it manifests this sort of quality within us. So the earth element is really about materialism, security, safety, being something to do with the physical world, you know. And if you look at what we've done over the last 200 years, is a lot about taking the land, you know, conquering the land, being very materialistic. And one of the overarching themes has been that you need to be happy. You need to find something to make you happy, you know. And we've almost reached the peak of it now, where we've become so materialistic. I need this and that and this and that to be happy, that we've destroyed the earth. We've corrupted our home, our families. So this is kind of the peak of it now. But what is happening on the 21st, which is also the winter solstice, which is also the darkest day of the year, so from there we go from darkness to light, is that these two planets are converging, coming together, conjuncting, at the 0 degree of Aquarius. So the first degree of Aquarius, which is an air sign. And for the next 200 years, they'll be meeting under air signs. Now, unlike the earth signs, which are very materialistic, the air signs is very detached, very intellectual, a lot about communication. Aquarius specifically is about self-discovery, you know, looking for facts, looking for truth, understanding who am I, why am I here. So there's a few different theories, you know, and one of it is that while the last 200 years, the overarching theme has been, I need to be happy, and I need to find something to make me happy. The way that we're going to progress is, rather than I need to be happy, is I need to know the truth. I need to know who I am. So for sure, if you're already here on this channel, you've already been doing some stuff with us, then you're already on this path. Because, you know, it's not like this is the conjunction, this is the changing. We can say that the earth is going down, the air is coming up. It's not just like cracking, it's done. It's a transition, and probably you've been feeling it in your life, some sort of shift from being maybe more materialistic a few years ago towards more like, no, I really need to know who I am, because seeking outward is not bringing me any joy. You know, I want to find some truth. Another thing that's kind of predicted is that a lot of people will start to isolate or move away from the big cities, seeking out smaller communities. It might be almost a repulsion towards what's going on in the society that we have some aversion to, and we want to go either be alone or just be with like-minded individuals. I know Clelia and I, we have this big calling. We want to run away to the mountains or to an island and just live in community. Many of the people that the circles that we follow in all want to do the same. You know, a lot of our friends, we lived on a small island in Thailand for many years. Now a lot of our friends are in Bali. We're thinking to go to Bali. We're thinking to maybe set up a community in the mountains here in Canada. You know, somewhere where we don't have to be in all the the chaos of what's going on, because it's really distracting when you're trying to figure out who am I, when other people are, you know, barging in and having this and that and this. And not that being around people is bad, but that might be one of the energies that is coming. Another way that I have come to understand these two planets meeting, the good and the bad, the Jupiter and Saturn, is that it's like opposites coming together, and that's creating more and more polarization. And we see it. The whole world's become very polarized. You know, there's been all of these kind of struggles or battles for power lately. There was Brexit with the UK versus the European Union. There have been the political things in the States. First it was Trump versus Hillary. Now it's Trump versus Biden. There was all the racial things, the Black Lives Matter, black versus whites happening in the States. Now it's the maskers versus the anti-maskers, or the ones who want the vax and the ones who don't want the vax. There's this building and building and building of polarization, and that's supposed to kind of peak at this convergence on the 21st. So this is why we've been working on this. This is one of my intentions behind doing this 10-day challenge, this 10-day program on the heart, on Anahata, is to kind of go over this polarization, you know, and try to tap into compassion. Because just like fear and judgment is infectious, also is compassion. You know, when someone has a different view than yours, and no matter what, you accept them, you know, it's very difficult for them to still want to fight, still want to, you know, battle with you. So what we're really trying to tap into here is two things, is love for ourselves, because it's important. You know, we want to love ourselves, and then we don't need all of these things from the outside to feel fulfilled. Is compassion, is to understand the others, even if they're in a different view of the world. And is going into this energy of Aquarius, which is self-discovery, which is looking inward and who am I? Why am I here? And what do I want out of this life, out of this manifestation? You know, everyone is here for something, you know, and for sure it's not just to buy as many things as you can. But you know, I make a joke because there are people like this in the world, but also I'm sure that at the collective level we are all feeling that there's something more to life than just eating what is fed to us from the television and consuming things endlessly, because we've been doing it so long. We know there's not really satisfaction in that. You know, every big purchase is an excitement for a couple hours, minutes, days. And then it's where is the next thing? So that was a little bit of a talk about my understanding of the Great Conjunction coming up. I rambled a lot because I drank my coffee just before this. But yeah, I'm glad that the sound is working well. Yeah, it still sounds like it's working well. I'm just testing on my phone. If you have any questions, leave them below. Again, I say I'm not an astrologer, so I might be able to refer you to someone else who's much more educated than myself. But everyone agrees that this is a big moment coming, that this is a big shift in energy. And I mean, we've been feeling it all year. It's been building up. It's been building up. I choose the good side. You know, some people are like, oh, this is the date the Mayans were predicting, and it's the end of the world. And I don't think it's the end of the world. It's the end of something, for sure. I feel a shaking inside of me. And I feel as we do these practices for Anahata, they're super strong. Wow, you know, every practice that I'm doing this week is so intense, even just a couple minutes of it, and my body's shaking. You know, something's moving, something's shifting. I'm feeling fear, I'm feeling excitement, I'm feeling nervousness, I'm feeling confusion. There's so many things that are going on right now, and it's not just you, it's not just, you know, one, thank you, Michael. It's not just one factor, it's collective, and it's universal, or at least it's cosmic for where we are, that these energies are intense. There's actually an eclipse coming up tomorrow. Also, again, I don't know much about it. I researched more about the conjunction, but I might not be surprised if we have another technical difficulty tomorrow with this eclipse. But anyway, you know, this is another thing too, is there are some karmic things behind this too. This practice and what we're doing here is intense somehow. When we go into the heart, it can be very intense for some people, and some people aren't ready. So maybe even just that the sound was not working for the first 2 days is like that's a block for some people. If that blocks you, that means that you're not ready to receive these. If you were able to go past the crackly sound for 2 days and still do the practice, then you are ready. You know, this is kind of how I see it. You have no idea how many videos I've tried to make that have just corrupted in the middle, you know, and then something tells me, okay, it's not the time, you know, it's not the time to share this teaching. It's not the time to offer this practice live. And this is actually another quality of Anahata, is just being able to surrender. So I'm going to end it there, guys. I'm going to prepare myself for the next stream. If you want to join, I'll see you back here in 45 minutes for the practice. If you like this video, like it, subscribe to the channel, and have a beautiful day, guys. Namaste.